Yo, what's going on YouTube? It is your boy GZTV back with another video. Nothing really interesting going on in the music industry. Nothing really interesting going on in 2K right now. Obviously, I did a couple gameplays throughout the week. So we're just going to do a Soprano review and then a recap for today. That's just kind of the agenda. Tomorrow we'll do a Soprano video and a 2K gameplay. I think Sunday we'll do like a movie. I'll probably watch a movie on Saturday and give you guys a review for that. Nothing too crazy going on in music right now. I think next week Schoolboy Q's dropping an album, so we'll probably do an album thing for that. I gotta plug my phone in. My phone's been tweaking lately. I don't know what's been going on with Apple, but we are here to talk about the 46th overall episode of The Sopranos. We have the 7th episode of the show's 4th season. So again, we're kind of getting to the halfway point. Like, these last two episodes are like super impactful on how the season trajectory is going to go for the rest of the way. Pretty important stuff. We're going to talk about what happens. There's a character that makes his final appearance. It's kind of spoiled, I guess, for you guys, but I just want to let you know that he's not going to be talked about in the series anymore. No new characters. I mean, the show has definitely established some ground. So let's get into it. So Adriana gets the idea from a TV crime drama that spouses cannot be forced to testify against each other, so she surprises Christopher by proposing that after 2 years' engagement, they should get married. Like, she wants to get this out of the way. She wants to tie the knot. There's so many privileges that come with marriage. I mean, obviously, the big one is testifying, not being able to testify because she knows that the FBI is just going to force her to do that if she doesn't marry him. And yeah, the FBI is going to have it's a wrong idea, but the FBI might have the wrong idea that you can't make someone testify. But you can. Anything that's said before marriage can be testified. And all this big shit, all this crazy shit that's happened in their lives happened before marriage. I mean, they're still not married yet, like up to this point. So, yeah, obviously this is where the title Watching Too Much Television comes from, because she's watching TV and making it influence her decisions. So, but when she confesses that she might not be able to have children, he storms out. He's pissed. He wants to have children. He wants the Moltisanti name to continue and thrive for the future. But he can't do that if she can't have kids. And it's frustrating, if you want to plan to have kids and she's lying all this time and holding things back and just now telling you when she wants to tie the knot. That's obviously frustrating. But it's definitely insensitive to kind of do that. So Tony and Silvio urge him to marry her regardless. She's a great woman. This is a woman he definitely wants to live his life with. He doesn't want to live the single life. That's not for him. So, fortified by heroin, Christopher apologizes for his outburst and tells her he will marry her. It seems kind of sudden, kind of forced. She gets kind of suspicious that he's on drugs or something, which he is to an extent. But, yeah. She learns from a lawyer that the TV drama was wrong. In a major trial, she can be made to testify. Again, if the shit anything that happens before marriage is fair game. So, yeah, all this stuff. The FBI can use that against her. Like, they can look up the documents of their marital agreements and all this stuff and be like, okay, all this stuff happened before your marriage, so you have to tell the judges about this. So, at her bridal shower, she cheerlessly unwraps her present. She is beside herself. She doesn't know what to do at this point. She's obviously in a dilemma because if she gets married, the FBI is going to strike. They're going to make their next move because they know the laws. Obviously, they're taught this. Like, that's why they have their job. So Furia, Gwynta invents a pretext to phone Carmela and tells her she has a pretty picture of her from the housewarming. But next morning, he declines to enter the house, saying there's a problem in the car. I think he came to kind of a realization, hey, I don't want to betray my boss, like, that's fucked up. Like, I don't want to get with this wife and have a whole affair and all this stuff. So he just holds back from it. You feel the romantic tension, like that's something kind of developing throughout the season. So, yeah. Brian Camerata, who is like the family financial advisor, and he is Carmela's cousin, he casually mentions a bogus housing deal he knows about, but Tony and Ralphie take it seriously and carry out their own scheme to defraud the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, which is the HUD, which is a pretty famous thing in real life, I guess. They're a part of like projects and all that stuff. So they take it up to the HUD, they make an investment, it pays off, they become loaded. It's funny because he didn't think they were going to take this serious, but They make use of Dr. Ira Freed, Assemblyman Ronald Zellman, and Maurice Tiffin, a black activist, to do this. Yeah. So some derelict houses are purchased. Like, it's a whole crack house. Like, there's a whole, like, shitty area of Newark that they purchased. Like, 4 houses in this terrible neighborhood that was once, like, pretty much inhabited by Italian Americans. So, yeah, Tony takes AJ for a drive, showing him the houses to illustrate his family's proud history of dedication to work. He's kind of coming back here, giving back to his inheritance, kind of, I guess, or his heritage, I guess you could say. But one of the houses is occupied by black squatters who have turned it into a crack den. Yeah, pretty much just people that are holding down this house, turning it into a crack house, not wanting to leave. So now Tony and them have to take action. They have to get these people out of here because they want to turn it into an investment. They want people to live in there. Yeah. So Tony puts pressure on Zellman to evict them. Zellman puts pressure on Tiffin. Tiffin demurs at the use of violence, but 4 armed teams are sent and the squatters are violently evicted. A couple of them get shot, but I mean, it's no big deal. Like, they don't get killed or anything. Like, they just wanted to intimidate them, get them out of the this housing project, I guess it was before. So, based on false appraisals, a large loan is obtained from HUD. Freed, Zellman, and Tiffin get their cuts. Tony presents Brian with a Patek Philippe watch, kind of a gift from him to kind of honor him and pay homage and be like, okay, you helped us. I mean, it wasn't a serious thing, but you helped us make a investment that paid off for us. So Zellman and Tiffin recall that they were idealists together in the 60s and briefly lament the corruption of their ideals. This is going to be a long video, by the way. So Paulie is released from jail. That's something that was kind of happened in the beginning of the episode. There's a big welcome back party and an envelope of cash from Tony to kind of get him back on his feet again. He needs a head start. But Paulie is still resentful that Tony never contacted him when he was in prison and speaks of this to Johnny Sack. I mean, that's completely understandable. This is a guy that's supposed to be family. This is a brotherhood. And Tony not once visited him, not once cared. Like, I don't know. I definitely agree with Paulie. It is a bit, like, ungrateful of him to say something like that, given the life that, Tony's kind of given him. But yeah. He tells him that Tony is a new property scam. Johnny confirms that their conversations are secret and tells Paulie that Carmine Lupertazzi thinks very, very highly of him, even if Tony might not. I mean, Tony's opinion is Tony's opinion, I guess. So, Zellman diffidently informs Tony that he is having a serious relationship with his ex-mistress Irina. As you see here, it's kind of fucked up, obviously. I mean, why would the assemblyman get with a woman like this? I don't know. Tony does not seem to mind at first. Like, he seems okay. Like, it's fine. We broke it. I broke it off with her. We're done. Like, it's alright. I don't really care. But one day, he finds a pretext to go to Zellman's house and sees Irina again, and kind of reminds him of things. And, yeah. One night, drunk and overcome by emotion, he was listening to that song that they were talking about in the bathhouse. He drives to the house and barges up to the bedroom where he finds Zellman half undressed. I mean, he's sitting there in his boxers, obviously, like, winding down for bed and stuff. Tony catches him at a bad time. Tony takes off his belt and lashes him with it, saying, all the girls in New Jersey, you had to fuck this one. I mean, you're the damn assemblyman. What are you doing, dude? I don't know. But Ronald Zellman makes a final appearance. So, yeah, it's been kind of confirmed here. I know that's kind of a spoiler, but it's good to know that he's not going to be a part of the show anymore. They kind of closed that storyline out. I don't know if there's really much closure with that, but yeah, obviously he was the Newark assemblyman and associate of Tony Soprano. So there's some really interesting things kind of building up for the rest of the season. Really hyped for the second half. You get the whole Adriana ordeal. I'm sorry, again, I keep rocking back and forth and I keep mentioning it in my videos, but obviously the whole Adriana thing with Christopher, and will she testify? Will the FBI kind of manipulate her and make her do these things? It's going to be really interesting to see how this pans out. But yeah, we're going to be covering every episode of the show, obviously. We've done this with plenty of other shows. So yeah, leave a like, comment, and subscribe later tonight if there's any good NBA games, which I guarantee you there will be. We will be talking about them. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. Throughout the weekend, we're going to do other content, so that should be really exciting. Hyped to do that Zion gameplay. For sure doing that. I'm just going to spend $10, pick them up. Once we get level 40 hard. I mean, if you guys aren't 2K fans, you can click off the video. I don't really care, but, I mean, we're kind of close to the end anyway. So, yeah, it is the